All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, it is time to check out some red yellow Sabo action. That's right, we have not touched this leader since the bans and restrictions. It's been a minute. I know some people have been getting impatient. We have quite the red yellow Sabo following here on the channel. But hey, here we are. I've got a pretty decent update. I want to show you guys a new direction I've been exploring for red yellow Sabo. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get straight into it. First things first, we are going to check out a deck list from the East that has won a flagship level tournament, which I think are like, 5-round tournaments that are typically like 32-player tournaments or somewhere around there. We'll check that out first. Then we're going to check out the deck list that I'm running for the day. We'll check that out on the sim. We'll break that down and talk about it. Then we're going to go over 5 games on the sim, guys. We're going to check out 5 games I have for you lined up on the sim. And then we're going to go over the deck list one more time, and then we'll kind of talk about, the direction going forward with it, and we'll break it down in that way, and we'll wrap things up like that. Okay? All right, you know what you get into, guys. Real quick, I'll have everything time-stamped as usual. I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that in the comments section below. We will be streaming tonight, guys. We will be streaming from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. We do that every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here on the channel here on YouTube. So be sure to come hang out with us. Check that out there. Okay, guys? Now, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. This video is sponsored by Nin Garden. Their latest spring collection just dropped with 3 new designs, and to celebrate, they are running a spring sale. Buy one, get any classic mat 40% off with the code SPRINGSALE. Plus, use NIN10 for an automatic 10% off at the checkout. You can stack this with my promo code, the VV Theory, for an additional 5% off, bringing you to a total of 15% total savings on top of the 40% off. All right, so guys, before we break down the deck list for today's video, we're going to break down a deck list from the East that got first place. It went 4-0 at a flagship level tournament. Now, in the East, they are running on the OP11 format. So they do have, I think there's one card in here that we can't use just yet. Yeah, this Zeus card. But everything else, I believe, we can build. We can build around. And we can make for ourselves over here. Now, one card, maybe not so much. We're still waiting on this promo, I believe, over here in the West. I could be wrong about that. I haven't checked in a while. But we are still waiting on a promo 2K counter Sabo right here. But I think we can replace this in a decent way, for the time being. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to run through the deck list and we'll talk about it. So they're running 2 Sabo. Again, this is the promo 2K counter Sabo. Running 4 Satori, 2 Hiyori, 4 of the 2-cost Ace, 4 of the 5-cost Yellow Ace, 4 Makino, 4 Garp, 3 Zeus, 3 Koala. This is another card that's kind of hard for us to get over here in the West right now, guys. It's a promo card, and I think it's running like $20 right now a card. It is kind of hard to get this currently in the West. And then they're running 2 of the 5-cost 6K Rush Luffy. That's unblockable if you attach 2 Dawn to it. 3 Koala, 2K counter. 2 Shiraya, very interesting card there. And then they're running 3 Kid and Killer, 4 of the new ST21 Luffy, very, very solid card. 2 of the new Sanji from OP10. It's not new for them, but it's new for us over here in the West. And then they're running 2 of You're the One Who Should Disappear, and 2 Three Brothers Bond. Okay, so very interesting list here. You can tell they're definitely still focusing on the Goa Kingdom version of the deck, or of the Red Yellow Sabo card pool. We're actually going to be focusing more on a Straw Hat version in today's video, but this does go to show this in OP11. In an even newer format than what we're in currently over here in the West, this list was able to go 4-0 at a flagship. So it does go to show that this deck has some real potential still going with the Goa Kingdom version, searching up the cards like Ace and searching up, the 2-cost and 4-cost versions of them. And one thing that's very interesting to me is they're not running the 2-cost Luffy. I would almost prefer to run the 2-cost Luffy over the Ace now that we have access to this card. So that's very interesting to me that they're not running that. But hey, who knows? But that's what's on this here. You never know if there's any kind of typos or, mistranslations or something. I'm not saying there is, but I'm very surprised to not see the 4-cost Luffy over the Ace. Because remember, guys, this Ace is a situational, it's a conditional rush card. It doesn't always have rush. It's a 5-cost 7K that has on play if you have 2 or less life. This character gains rush. So right away, this card is already not as good against Blackbeard, right? Because Blackbeard can turn off on play effects, and then all of a sudden you're not getting rush. On top of that, now I will say this, you're probably losing life pretty consistently with this new Zeus card. Pause and read this if you don't know what it does. And then you're also running 4 of the Makino here. And then you're also running Hiyori, which can manipulate life as well. So there's definitely some idea. You're going to be able to execute this very efficiently most of the time, I'm sure, to be able to get the rush on ace whenever you need it. However, like I said, against Blackbeard, you're not going to get this on play effect unless they don't use their leader effect. In which case, it feels like, to me personally, this card is just always better. However, I'll say one more thing about this before we move on from that whole idea, is probably the best part about this card is it's a 7,000 power body. Remember, you do get to swing for 7,000 with Luffy, and you get to swing for 7,000 with Kid and Killer. But what happens after your turn? Well, you don't. This when attacking effect is only during your turn, and this character's effect is, it usually will attach a Rested Dawn, and that's a your turn effect only for your Dawn cards. So he's a 6,000 power card to try to protect. This is a 5,000 power card to try to protect, but this is a 7,000 power card. So maybe that is the logic. Maybe that is the rationale there. Very, very strong card, by the way. I'm not saying Ace is not a good card. It is still a very strong card. Okay, what else? There are a few other cards I want to talk about. It is running the Koala here, but let's just be honest, guys. You don't have to run Koala. You can just run the 1-cost Nami in the place of it because it's not searchable. Notice that, guys. They're not running a Revo Army Searcher in here. This is just a... It's the same thing as the starter deck Nami. The 1-cost, 1,000 power, 1k counter Nami that has activate main once per turn, give 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. So you can just run that in the place of this card. That is a 1-to-1 translation. 0 problems using the Nami over this card for us over here in the West if you don't have the promo Koala. Now, Zeus, we don't have access to yet, okay? And for the time being, I think you can still probably run something here. Let me see how many 2K counters they're running. So they're running 3, 6, 10, 14. They're running 18. Did I count that correctly, guys? Did we do all the counting correctly there? Let's try that one more time. So 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 2, 8, 12, 15, 18. 18 2K counters and 2 0-cost 3K events here. Yeah, this deck's running some counter power, that's for sure. So I will say this, you can probably just run Thunderbolt in the place of this card for the time being. It's a 2-cost card, it has a good trigger, and you can KO a 5 or less just like this card can. It does rip a life card away from you, which is good because, you're trying to go down in life to activate your Portgasti Ace, and you're probably trying to use this card early on to get cards out of your way. It develops a body on the board. This card is better than Thunderbolt. Understand what I'm saying? I mean, other than the fact that it does not have a trigger, this card is basically just an upgrade to what Thunderbolt used to be. However, we don't have access to this yet in the West. This comes out in OP11. We'll have access to this soon, but we don't have it yet. 2K counter Koala. This is just a great utility card. This card is important because it's going to help you deal with your Eustace Kid matchups. Because on play, if your leader has Revo Army type, which ours does, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power for the turn. Guess what that lets us do? Their Eustace Kid is now a 5,000 power body, and we can smash into him for a bunch of 7s and get around him in that way. So this card is actually very, very important. This card is incredible. It just can go in any. It can go in pretty much any. Any deck running red, you can run this card. Incredible card here. They're running 2 Shirayas. This is pretty interesting to me. It's a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter blocker. This came out all the way back in OP06. This has been around for a while. But notice what it does. When attacking and when blocking, once per turn, this character's power becomes the same as the power of your opponent's leader until the start of your next turn. So you can use it as a very defensive blocker against something like blue-purple Luffy, which remember, guys, this was over in the West. Or excuse me, this was over in the East in OP11. So they can match the power of the Luffy with just blocking and going 1K counter above it. So it is a very solid card. It's a 1K counter in hand. It is just a nice, solid blocker overall. So good stuff there. Only running 2 of the Searcher events here because they're running 4 Garps already. So they're running 6 Searchers all together. And then 2 of You're the One Who Should Disappear. Just a nice way to filter out cards from your hand. Because there's probably quite a few bricks in here as well. Even though there's so many 2K counters. They are running 4, 6, plus 7, 13. So technically only 13 bricks. That's not even that bad, guys. That's not even that crazy. I'm surprised they're still running the You're the One Who Should Disappear. But this is, of course, a very powerful card. And they're running Hiyori so they can set it there manually. And they're also running Makino where they can look at everything they need to in their life and set things up accordingly. This Makino is very good. There's a reason they're running this as a 4 of. Number one, if there's any kind of card they want to place on there, like Ace, if they want to put that in a very specific spot, they can do that. Or if there's a You're the One Who Should Disappear in Your Life, you can set that all the way down to the bottom. If this event's in there, you can set it to the top so you get the trigger immediately. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on with this deck. Or if you have a Satori in there, you can benefit from that. Again, guys, there's so many really cool things you can do in this deck. There's a lot of different tech stuff going on here. You love to see it. One card I'm surprised they're not trying to run, since they are aggressively taking their life with cards like the Makino and cards like Zeus. I'm surprised they didn't want to put in the 4-cost 5K Frankie here just to draw cards, but a 5-cost body is a little easier to protect than a 4-cost body. So really good stuff there. If you guys have any questions about this, of course, don't hesitate to say something in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think about it. Now, let's go ahead and head over to the sim. We're going to check out what I'm running in today's video. It's a little bit of a different list here, as you can see right away. Guys, it's a little bit different from what we just saw. So real quick, now we're going to finally read what the leader does, even though we just went through an entire list. We're going to read the leader and then break down the deck list. So, Red Yellow Sabo, he is a 5,000 power 4-life leader. He is Dressrosa and Revo Army type. He has a Dawn ×1 activate main once per turn effect that says you may add one of your cost 3 or higher characters with 7,000 power or higher to the top of your life face up. Then give up to one of your characters plus 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. Okay, so that plus 2,000 power is until the start of your next turn. So it will even go through a Time Warp Luffy. It does not fall off until the start of your next turn. It's a very, very powerful effect. Okay, it's a 5,000, it's a normal 5,000 power 4-life multicolor leader, but that effect allows us to gain life, which is very, very powerful. And when we gain life, we're going to buff a character on the field for 2,000 power until the start of our next turn. So he's going to be safe, theoretically. The character will be more safe until the next turn. Okay, so that's what the leader does. So now we're running 2 Sanji. Pause and read this if you don't know what they do, guys. A lot of these are old cards. I will talk about the new ones. So we're running 2 of the 2-cost 2K counter Sanji that, well, I should, there are 2 different Sanjis now that cost 2 and that are 2K counters, right? So this is the one that gives the Diable Jambe effect to a Straw Hat character with 6,000 power or more, and this is the one that takes your own life to buff. Okay, so we're running 2 of each of those. 4 Searcher Namis, 4 Rayleigh, 4 Beckman, 4 Sanji. I love this new card, guys. I'm a really big fan of this new card. 4 of the Chopper Blocker, another card that I really love. 3 of the Unblockable Luffy, 3 of Port Gosti Ace. Was not as big a fan of this card. I'll try to save it till the end of the video, but I was not super impressed with this card in this version of the deck. It had some potential, I thought, with this Zoro we'll talk about in a minute, but it ended up not really working out that great. 2 of this Sanji, like we said, we're running 2 of each of these Sanjis. 4 of the new ST21 Luffy. This card's incredible. We're running 4 of the new 4-cost Zoro. We're running 4 Frankie, 2K counter Frankie. We're running 3 of the 2-cost Luffy to cheat Luffy's from the top of our life into play. 2 Rad Beams, and 3 Fire Fist. Okay, so real quick, just to talk about some of the newer cards, some of the OP10 and ST21 cards. So we already talked about this Sanji. He's basically Diable Jambe for a Straw Hat character with 6,000 power or more. Okay. Then we have, this is the new Luffy. This is kind of what really brought life back into Red Yellow Sabo. It is a 5-cost, 6,000 power Luffy. No counter, of course, because it has Rush. And when attacking, give your leader or up to one of your characters 1 rested Dawn card. Very, very powerful effect here, guys. It's basically a 5-cost, 7,000 power Rusher right away. Or you can swing for 6 with this character first, give a Dawn to your leader, and swing for 6 with your leader. So splitting 2 6K attacks, sometimes that's even better than going a 5K and a 7K. Hey, especially if your opponent's leader is 6,000 power, right? So there's some idea there. Next up is this Zoro. This Zoro is very strong as well. It's a 4-cost 5K with a 1K counter, and Dawn ×2 gains Rush, okay? Then on KO, get this, guys, check this out. You may play a red character with 6,000 base power or less other than Zoro from your hand. So that's the main reason why we're running this ace. Of course, it can cheat out the Luffys here, either of the 5-cost 6K Luffys. It can cheat out this Sanji, which is technically like a 3-cost 6K on your turn. This Tony Chopper is basically a 4-cost 6K as well. And then this ace. So it has a lot of really powerful cards that can cheat out. And because of how this card is, that's why I'm not running the 3-cost 5K Rush Zoro, even though I do think you can run that card in here and it will be just fine. But we're running 4 of this Zoro. It has Rush. It can be a 6-cost 7K Rusher or a 4-cost 5K with a 1K counter that's, on KO protects itself or cheats out another character. This card is really strong and helps us with matchups with lots of removal, so we can get removal out of their hand, make them waste their turn a little bit, and then we still get the character on the board afterwards. Really strong effect here. So we have to talk about Ace real quick. I wanted to save this till the end of the video, but remember, guys, this does not have Rush in our deck. Only in a Whitebeard Pirates type deck does this character have Rush. So it does lose a little bit of value for us. And the idea was, okay, this is going to help us with against decks that have a lot of removal. Well, you know, and that's the whole idea, right? Okay, on KO, they get rid of Zoro, and then we can cheat out this Ace that can also prevent a removal effect for the turn with its effect. And that seems really good on paper, but I will say this. It ends up not playing out so much, or they'll just bounce this card out of the way or ignore it, and now you just have a 5K on the board that costs you 4. It's not really the most ideal card, even though it does have some solid upside to this card. It's a 4-cost 5K with a 1K counter. It's Straw Hat searchable, and then, of course, if they do choose to remove it, we can bring another character into play, potentially, even if it is a Nami, just to do a search, right? Or, how's about this? It has, you know, the ability later in the game to be a 6-cost 7K rusher. So the card has a lot of upside, but I'll probably be tweaking the numbers on this card a little bit and probably just removing this Ace and focusing more on the other just very consistent, powerful Strong Hat package we have access to here. The Frankie, of course, is kind of just self-explanatory. It's one of the highest quality 2K counter bodies you can get in a deck like Red Yellow Sabo that can keep just recycling it into life for 2 Dawn every turn, or technically 3 Dawn, because you need 1 Dawn on your leader for the effect, and then 2 Dawn on this character to make him a 7K to push him into life. Some other new cards that we're seeing here is Tony Chopper. This is a 4-cost, 4,000 power 2K counter blocker, but on your opponent's turn, he gets plus 2,000 power. So pushing a card to life with our leader's effect, we can make this into a 4-cost, 8,000 power blocker. And it's a 2K counter in hand. There's really no downside to the card, because even if we have to attack with it, it's still a 4-cost, 4,000 power base body on our turn. So if we buff him with our leader effect, with our leader effect pushing a 7K or higher to our life, okay, well now we can swing for 7 with him, attaching a Dawn to him and swing for 7. And then on our opponent's turn, it's an 8,000 power body sideways if they want to try to get rid of it. There's really no downside, right? And then this Sanji. Guys, we got to talk about this Sanji for just a moment. This card is extremely powerful, especially in Sanji. Especially in Sabo. It's good in any red deck because it's a 3-cost, 3K, 1K counter, and then on your turn, it's a plus 3,000. So for a 1 Dawn investment, you're swinging for 7, and then on KO, you get to draw a card and replace it. Guys, in this deck in particular, it's really, it's really something special because, okay, for 4 Dawn, I can pay 4 Dawn, basically, to play out the Sanji for 3 and attach a Dawn to it, and then push it into life with my leader's effect, and I just gained a life for 4 Dawn. Okay, technically 5, because you do have to attach a Dawn to your leader to get the effect off, but that's still absolutely incredible, and now I can buff something else on my board, and I just gained a life. And then the life I gained is a 1K counter in my hand now, so it's not exactly a dead card. So that is something really nice for Sanji, for Sabo, for Red Yellow Sabo. But the card's just good, and it's searchable. Even though it looks like Nami, guys, its name is Sanji. It looks like Nami, but its name is Sanji, so we can search it up no problem. We can search up anything in this deck, really, other than the top end here, like Silver's Rayleigh, Ben Beckman, and then I guess technically the support Gosti Ace. There's one other card we cannot search in this list. Fire Fist. I think this card is incredible, but I think there's a replacement to this card. Who knows what I'm going to say? Pause the video and think of a new event that may or may not have come out in ST21 that will probably replace this card. That's right, guys. It is Gum Gum Mole Pistol, or Mole Gun, whatever it's called. This card is something I'll probably be using to replace Fire Fist with. I do think Fire Fist still has its merits, though. It's a 2-cost that does minus 4,000 power. It can KO a 0-power character on the board afterwards if you have 2 or less life. That part's fine, but the main thing is I get to pay 2 to give minus 4,000 power to one of my opponent's characters. This is going to really help your matchup into green, okay? Green dropping down Eustace Kids left and right now. Minus 4,000? Yeah. A 4,000 power character is not very scary compared to an 8,000 power character. Now, here's the one thing about this card that is not great, though. It can only pop a 0-power character if your opponent has 2 or less life. The 2 or less life part doesn't really matter. We're going to play pretty aggressively as Red Yellow Sabo most of the time, so that part's not as relevant. But here's the thing. Here's the catch. Number 1, this is not searchable in the deck that we're running right now because it's Revo Army, but this new Gum Gum Mole Gun is a 4 Emperor Straw Hat Crew type card. So it is searchable by our Nami, and For 4, we're doing minus 5,000, so 1,000 more than the minus 4 the Fire Fist has, and then we're KOing a 2,000 power or less character with the effect if we have a 6,000 power or more character on the board. So that allows us to do so much. That allows us to go minus 5,000 to a green Eustace Kid, and then we can pop one of their 2,000 power blockers. Oh, I don't know, like Rosinante. Get rid of that card, and now we're swinging into a 3,000 power body with nothing but 5, 6, and 7k attacks and higher, right? So it becomes very, very strong. This is a for sure include after today's video, but just know in today's video we're not running this, but let's try to keep in mind how the games might have gone if we had this card instead of Fire Fist. Okay? And that's about it, guys. The top end in this deck is Silver's Rayleigh and Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman is just incredible. There are becoming staple cards for red now, guys, where if you're not running them, I'm not sure what you're doing, to be completely frank, to be completely honest with you guys. There are cards now that I think you just have to run if you're running red. And I think it's Silver's Rayleigh, Ben Beckman, and soon I think it might be Sanji, into Chopper, into maybe the 5-cost Luffy. So, guys, that's a 20 card, just almost, it's arguably an auto-include in any red deck going forward, and then some people might say a Radbeam or Divine Departure, or this 4-cost Gum Gum Mole Gun. We'll have to see, guys, but let me say this, I'm very excited to try this card going into the future. Okay, that's enough yapping, guys. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions about the list, please don't hesitate to put some down in the comment section below. Now, let's hop over to the sim and check out some games of this deck in action. All right, guys, so first game up, we got against Green Yellow Trafalgar Law. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. I think we're going to be going first this game, and I have to say, I think we want to go first in general with this deck. We want to do the curve of 1 Dawn Nami, just like you see here, and we got to a Sanji, which is what we want to do on turn 2, and then turn 3, dropping down a 5-cost Luffy. So we're seeing a very nice curve here. We're going to swing 5. We're going to play out the Sanji here. Afterwards, practice proper sequencing, guys. They're going to use a Jory Bonney. They're going to play out that Bonney. They're going to pull back the Carmel here. They swing for 6. We take it aggressively. They play out the Bonney, and it locks down our Dawn. Ooh, man, that was nice. That was very nice from our opponent here. We're going to swing for 7. Now, let's see what we do next here. I think we might just swing for 5. Let's see what they do. They end up taking that. Excuse me, we're going to swing for 5 and then 6. Or maybe 5 and then 7. I have no idea. Yeah, 5 and then 7. So this becomes a situation where they might want to give me the blocker early on. Yeah, I think that was not the worst call. We kind of threw them for a loop there, saying, okay, we swing 7, then we swing 5, then we swing 7. That really made them confused a little bit there, which is not the worst case scenario, right? Typically, you want to swing your lowest cost to highest, but right there it worked out nicely. They get rid of my Nami. I don't really care. They're going to play out the Restand Law. They're going to attack it again for 7. And right here, we do have the Beckman in hand because that Cavendish has got to go. We get rid of the Cavendish. This is their one chance to really hurt me from the life here. And there's probably a way they could do that. I don't know what's in their hand, but there's an idea of where they could swing for all 7s across the board. And then they would still have 2, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And they'd have 4 Dawn left. If they could put the Trafalgar Law into their life, well, no, hang on, that's where it gets tricky. They'd have to have one in their hand already. If they could put one into life and then play out, pull back a Trafalgar Law to replay 1, swing for 7 more, they could do some really fancy stuff. And let's see what they try to do here. Maybe that is what they're going to try to do. Nope, they do not have the card they need in hand. That is less than ideal, but it does allow them to try to get some advantage. They were able to see what their top life card was and replace it with a 2k counter they can use next attack. So they're going to swing in for 7 here, and then they're going to pull back the beige to, probably just get the 2k counter back in hand, and then they're going to swing for 6. This is a nice 1k. We'll take this last hit. It's a Frankie trigger. We do take those. They get a Trafalgar Law. They're not going to pull a card back here. That would not be wise. And now it's our turn. Now it is our turn. I'm surprised they did not put that Trafalgar Law into life, play it out, and then protect some stuff in that way. But hey, they've got something else in mind. We'll see what they do. But right here, we are just going to go ahead and go for the board, guys. Here's the thing about red, yellow Sabo. Watch this. We're going to go 6 into 4. Now, this is where things get tricky again. They take that. So now we're going to go 7 into 6. They give me the 2k counter. We're going to push the Ben Beckman into life and go 7 more into the 6. We went up to 2 life there, and they just lost 2 2k counters from their hand for this next turn. We have a 7,000 power Frankie on the board. Now they are going to do a Jory Bonney. They're going to they're going to play out the Trafalgar Law after that, gaining a life, and now they are going to. What's the call here? I mean, what do you try to do? Maybe go. maybe try to take me down to 0, because he's not going to get the Frankie. That's never happening, right? Swinging 7 into Frankie is probably his play right here, but I'm never letting him have that unless I had no counter in hand. Okay, and now things get really complicated, right? Because now, okay, look at the hand differential here, guys. I'm looking at a 6-card hand. They're looking at a 2-card hand. We both have 2 life, and our boards are actually comparable. Our boards are actually very similar, but it might just be game over. Watch this. We're going to swing 7 at face. Oh, man. Now, right here, we're going to push that to life. We're going to swing 7 more at face. Yeah, this might just be a math win, guys. Play out the 2-cost Luffy. Swing 7 more at face. Not looking good. GG to my opponent. And in that situation there, that's why I like to still run the 2-cost Goa cards. I think those are still worth running if you're running Red Yellow Sabo right now, and if you're running the 5-cost 7K Yellow Ace or even the 5-cost 6K Rush Ace. It's still just worth running because you can do so many different shenanigans. And on the next turn, guys, my leader's 7,000 power, so it becomes even easier for me to get out of some of the attacks, right? Now, I did not have a lot of counter power in hand, to be fair, but it does make things a lot easier still. Okay, so that was the first game there we had against, let me see, it was Red Yellow Sabo versus Green Yellow Law. Next game we have one against Bonney. Buckle up for this one, guys. We've got a game here. This is an 18-minute game, nearly a 20-minute game. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. Get comfortable. Grab a drink. Maybe grab a snack so you can watch this one. We're going to swing in for 8. We did not get a good pull. We got no turn 1, no turn 2. And remember, guys, we're running 4 Sanjis, and we're running 4 Namis and 4 Sanjis. We didn't see any of those. That's less than ideal. We're going to swing for 5. We're going to swing for 7. We're knocking them down in life very aggressively. But Jory Bonney doesn't really care, right? Jory Bonney's saying, okay, sure, knock me down in life, and I'll just have more cards in hand to defend my Eustace Kid. That's right. So they're going to swing in for 6 here. This hurts really bad, but I might have to let it go. I could defend it. It looks like I might do that. I could have definitely let that card go there. Now, here comes an interesting play here. I want to know what you guys think about this one. We're going to play out the Luffy first, I think, because they have a Dawn. And watch this. We're going to swing for 7, attaching Dawn here. What is he going to tap down? Okay, you're going to tap down that Luffy. Well, now I'm going to turn him into an 8,000 power body. So now your next turn here, when you try to drop your Eustace Kid on curve, is not going to be nearly as good, right? It's not going to be nearly as good because you can't just swing into this Luffy. He's 8,000 power, right? He's just too big. They're going to drop down the Eustace Kid. They're going to cheat out the killer. They're going to swing 6 into 8. We're just going to let it go. They did not swing into my life on purpose there, guys. They don't want to give me another Captain or Monkey D. Luffy. We're going to go minus 3,000 to the Cavendish, popping it minus 2,000 to the Captain Kid. He is now a 6,000 power character. I think we're just going to have to swing 1 time for 8 here. This is a tough situation. Yeah, we're going to swing for 8 here. He's going to tap down our leader or maybe the Rayleigh. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't. We didn't have a better way to get out of it. He has 2 blockers, so we just make it. We force him to use a blocker there, and now we're you know, he is probably going to be able to. Well, only swinging 7 into the Luffy. I could have saved that card, but I do have another one in hand. I think it's probably a better idea to save it like that, or to not even use it rather. You know, not saving the Luffy. Hopefully that made sense. So we have a Fire Fist in hand here. They do have a blocker, but we have to use Fire Fist. There really is no option here. I'm starting to think we probably should have saved the Luffy, because it would have made this turn so much more impactful. Like, number 1, if we drew another Sanji, like, we would have had to use the Sanji to save it, but if we had drawn into another Sanji, it would have changed things. They're going to rest down our Sabo. We're swinging 8 into 4 real quick, and they're going to rest down our Sabo with their leader effect. But if we had left the Luffy on the board, we get 2 better attacks into this card. Look at that. He had to give me 3 cards from hand to save that. We're going to push that card to life. We're swinging 10 into 4 unblockable. 10,000 into 4. That will cost bare minimum 4 cards from hand. 4 to 6, 8, 10, and then 11. So 4 cards from hand. They couldn't block it. Remember, guys, they couldn't block because Luffy is unblockable. Now, we are up to 6 life, guys. That is correct. We are up to 6 life. You see, everything is working according to plan, right? This is a very close game. This is a tight game. We've gone through 2 Eustace Kids now, right? I think we've gone through 2 Eustace Kids. Or maybe it was just 1. I can't remember. Maybe that was just the first one, but we've gone through 2 turns of it. Yeah, that's right. It was 2 turns of Eustace Kid. That's what it was. All right. They do have a Cavendish down. They have a Smoker on the board. Now they're going to start eating up a lot of... They're going to start getting a lot of value from this right here. They have to be careful, though. Do they want to attack into my life and give me a Smoker? Or, excuse me, a Rayleigh? Or do they want to attack into my life and give me a Luffy? They have to pick and choose their attacks wisely. 6 into 8, we're just going to let that go through, of course. They're going to attach a Dawn. Okay, I think they had to do something differently there with the smoker at the end of turn. I have no idea. I just missed whatever just happened there. But they're going to play. They're going to tap down the Eustace Kid. And remember, guys, we can just swing everything into this Eustace Kid unblockable with this Luffy. We're going 15 into 8. Of course, they're going to rest down our leader. And they cannot block. So they're going to have to give us 8. So 10, 12, 14, 16. Minimum 4 cards. Again, guys, they're going to have to give us a minimum of 4 cards. They're going to let it go, and we're going to push this Luffy to life. It's the only chance we have. Otherwise, on the board, it's gone. On the board, it's gone. At least in this way, they can only attack with Smoker, right? We're up to 7 life right now. They're playing this game correctly, but how many Eustace Kids can they get to? That's the problem. They're going to swing for 7 here. I think we probably should counter out of this because we can play out the Luffy from life here. Okay. We had to counter out, by the way, guys, or else it goes to the trash. We wouldn't get it to hand. Remember, Smoker has Banish. Okay, remember, Smoker has Banish. All right, so right here, we do have a slight blunder here. We have a slight play mistake. I swing for 6. I should have swung for 7. In fact, I should have swung for even more than that. Actually, no, I couldn't have swung for more than that because of their leader effect. We're going to swing for 13, unblockable. They do get through that. If we had just swung in for the 7, though, instead, we would have been fine there. Hey, they're going to swing for 9. We're going to let it go this time. They play out a GY Bonney. Guys, this was a nail-biter. This was a back-and-forth, very good game to my opponent here. This has been a really good match. Bonney has always been a tough matchup for Red Yellow Sabo. And now that they have that Smoker, understand this real quick, guys. Smoker is the only card keeping them in this game right now. Nothing else is. That Cavendish doesn't matter to me. The Basil Hawkins does not matter, other than the one blunder I did last turn. That was just my fault. And then that GY Bonney, none of those cards matter to me right now. I'll just run them. I'll run over them. I'll just run them over. But that Smoker eating my life cards, that hurts bad. Okay, that really hurts. Okay, here we go. I'm eventually going to get through every single blocker they have, right? That's what's going to happen eventually here. Okay, they get to their, I think that's their 3rd and final Eustace Kid, depending on how many they're running. I thought, I think most decks are only running 2 right now, or maybe it is 3. I don't know. Whatever the case is, they get that down. Now they have a Rosinante backing it up. All right, well, I have to do whatever I can here. I'm going to go 12 into 8. He's going to give me a blocker here, right? He's going to block, and okay, let's the Basil Hawkins go. He's very smart. He knows what I'm going to try to do, potentially, to get rid of that Eustace Captain Kid. So he has to attack 1 time every turn, guys, or else he gives me cards I can beat him with. Here's where he's in trouble, though. Here is where he's in trouble. I can pull that Monkey D. Luffy from my life now and get really aggressive, right? I can pull that Monkey D. Luffy from life here and get super, super aggressive. I do have another option as well. What I could do in this situation here is go wide on the board and try to win next turn. Because he only has 3 real attacks. I have 5 life. I'm not at jeopardy of losing the game under any circumstance. However, I think what I can do here, if I do the math correctly, I might just be able to run this guy over. So right here, he's going to tap down my leader. I swing for 10. Okay, so I did have to do things a little bit differently. We're going to, let's see what we choose to do here. I think I should play out the ace now. Yeah, play out the ace. And then push this card to life. Yeah, I was going to say, if I played out the 2-cost Luffy there, it would have just been a blunder. It would have just been a play mistake. But yeah, we're in a good spot now. We have an 8,000 power body on the board. It's going to be very hard for him to deal with that, even if he can rest it down somehow. Okay, does he want to attack? Okay, attacking in for 5. We can probably take that. Yeah, we're going to take that hit. Now he's going to swing for 7, and we're going to counter out aggressively. You want to give me that Luffy back? It's up to you. You want to give me the Luffy back or no? All right, so let's see what happens here. Oh, absolutely beautiful top deck, guys. We finally got a really nice top deck here. What we're going to be able to do is -3 to the Eustace Kid, -2 to the Smoker, and pop the okay, then I had a misclick. I was supposed to get rid of the Rosinante. I was not supposed to get rid of the killer there. I think I actually misclicked when I was playing the game, is what that was. Now, right here, remember, guys, they do still have Dawn open, so we can't just swing in for a bunch here. So let's see what we choose to do. I think we're going to swing for 7. Let's see what happens here. It depends on what he taps down. I'm going to swing 7 into 5. He taps down my Rayleigh, guys, instead of my leader. Okay. You're going to give me the blocker. Well, now I'm going to swing. I'm probably going to push him into life, and I'm going to swing 6 into 5. I'm sure he has a 2K to get out of that. That was interesting, not tapping down my leader there. I guess now he wants to go for my no, he just can't go for Rayleigh unless he plays out a 9-cost. He has to play out a 9-cost Shanks, at which point he'll be very vulnerable. He's going to swing for 5. We're going to 1K counter out. Let's see what he does. Okay, Stanza Dawn is active. There's the Shanks. Pause. There's only one problem with this play he did here, right? There's only a single problem with this play he did. What is it, guys? Y'all see what it is? He does not have any Dawn active. Now, remember, he knows what my top life card is. He knows I'm running Red Yellow Sabo, and he knows what I can do from here. This game is over, right? So this game is basically over on the spot, guys, believe it or not. Watch this. Play out the Luffy, and now from here, we're going to go 10. I think I got to do the math correctly. I think I do 12, actually. It's not over on the spot. I will say that if he somehow could get out of this, it would be incredible. We're swinging for 12 and 8. That would cost a 2K, 2K, 1K. And now we're swinging in for what would have been 10 more. So it would have been even more counter to get out of that. That card was not surviving. Look at this, guys. This guy's a madman. He was running 4 copies of Eustace Kid. 4 copies. That's crazy. But hey, it's a pretty strong card, right? It's pretty good. It was either 3 or 4. I can't remember exactly. Good game to my opponent. That was a grueling nail biter right there. Great. I didn't see a whole lot of misplays. I think Bonney played this very well. People might be saying, like, yeah, why didn't they attack more aggressively? Why didn't they attack more aggressively? Because then I get more and more ways to fill the board with these 5-cost 8K rushers, right? Because I can just, for 6 Dawn, I could swing for 8 with this card. So I could just load up every time and smash through, and they're forced with their leader effect every time to do things differently. It really complicates the situation. Great game to my opponent there. That was a really fun game. Next up, so that was against Jory Bonney. So we did Green Yellow Law, Jory Bonney. Next up, we got a game versus Blackbeard. So I will say this, most red decks do fairly well into Blackbeard, because it might end up being like a counter to black as red, because you just go super wide, super aggressively, and attack into them like that. Excuse me. So we're going to get to go first here, and it looks like we're going to play out the Nami. They play out a Lafitte here. They're going to turn off my leader effect immediately, and I don't hate that. I don't hate that play. Now, one thing we're going to do in response is we're going to go at, now we did see, understand this, guys, we did see the Shiryu from the Lafitte. We know they have a Shiryu. Just so you know, I am going to bait that out immediately here. They're going to use that. They're going to swing in for 5. It's fine. That's completely fine. And now we've got that card out of the way, and we can play out other smaller cards later if we need to. But right here, we're going to swing in for 7. They're going to take that. They're down to 2 life already on their turn 3. Okay, they're on 6 Dawn. We just had our turn 3, and they're down to 2 life. They're going to trash Liberation. Very interesting decision there. And they're going to go for some other cards in hand to try to deal with my board here. Okay, let's see what they do. Very nice. So they're attacking into 5. This is really good for us. We want them to attack into our face. Oh, man, he had exactly enough to save that card. Unfortunate. Or to get rid of the card. We could not save it. But, hey, it is what it is. Hey, we got other rush cards coming in as well, right? All right, right here, guys, we're going to swing for 6. The turning off our effects with Black Hole doesn't really hurt us that much. Watch this. We're going to swing for 7. They're down to 0, guys. They're down to a goose egg. What are they going to do now? And what are we going to do, by the way? Do we let this card sit on the board? I think the answer is no, because they'll probably have... I think I did see them draw a Liberation. I know sometimes I don't reveal on the right what they're drawing. I forget sometimes. But I do believe I know I have the knowledge that they have Liberation. Now, this scares them to attack into us. However, this is where they're in trouble. Look what we have in our hand. That's right. And they play out a double stronger. Why did they do that, guys? Because whatever I play down, they want to be able to remove it immediately. Well, guess what? We're going to swing for 6. That's going to be a 1K. I got bad news for this guy. 9's coming in, unblockable, GG. So, guys, just so you know, unblockable characters like Luffy or characters that make them lose the game if you block like Goldie Roger, it's always going to be a very natural counter to Blackbeard. So, therefore, this deck into Blackbeard, pretty good. I do think that Blackbeard has the answers now to be able to deal with this deck way better than it used to. But I still think it's a very uphill battle for Blackbeard. Okay, we got 2 more games, guys. We got a game versus Yellow Eustace Kid here. This is a new deck from OP10 that I've really been enjoying playing, talking about Eustace Kid. But let's see how we fare against this matchup. I actually think that Red Yellow Sabo is probably pretty favored into this matchup. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a... they won the dice roll and chose to go second, because I think they want to be on an even curve. Could be wrong about that, but I think for Basil Hawkins going into other things. Now, they're running the version with Killer. There's Basil Hawkins in their life. Watch this, guys. This is what this new Straw Hat version does. So on KO, they do a top 3 search with Killer there. So we swing 5, they block. We swing 6. They're probably going to counter out of this. And, Oh, they take it. Well, that's not good. They're going to do a draw 2 trash one. Actually, I don't think they did that. So we end up playing out the Zoro here. We're going to prepare for a later turn. We're not just going to play out anything just yet. We're not going to attack in with the Luffy just yet. We're going to play out the Zoro and get value from the Luffy on a later turn. Nami also lets us search in and get more answers on the board. They're going to go 6 and a 3. We're going to get to draw a card from that. I absolutely love that new Sanji, guys. It's so good. Okay, they're going to play out a Basil Hawkins here, and I think it really depends on what we want to do here. Do we want them to have that card in life? We're going to swing for 6. They block right away. Now we're going to swing for 7. Let's see what happens here. Watch this, guys. Everything depends on what they do right here. If they counter out of this, we might not swing again. They do counter out. We're going to plus 2,000 on Zoro. Your turn. You're not getting that card. We're pushing the Luffy to life. Now, he might have one in hand, for all, in all fairness, but we're not going to just give him access to the card. He plays out a 7-cost Law. He's going to be able to swing for 7 here. Okay, we'll just take it and get our life that we just put in there, right? We'll get that card right back to hand. It has Rush anyway. We'll take it. And now he's going to make this blocker Law as, he's going to set the blocker Law here. Excuse me, he's going to turn him into a blocker. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But he has 2 cards in his life now that are face up. So we're going to swing for 5. He counters out. Okay, sure. That's fine with us. We're okay with that. We're going to swing for 6. Beautiful. So now in this situation here, we're going to go -4 to the... I'm not sure what we were going for here. And now I think we're going to play out the Luffy here. We're going to swing 8 into 5. And he is going to counter out of that aggressively. Now, right here, I think, so he is at 5K. We're just going to buff up the Zoro and pass the turn. So I really wish I could have gotten rid of that card, but we did get a lot of value. Okay, he attacks into my Zoro. I'm going to play out the Luffy he knows I already have. He's going to push my Luffy to the bottom of my life with the electromagnetic cannon and get rid of the new Luffy we just played. That was very, very well played by my opponent. Excellent play from my opponent there. Nice. The Frankie does bail us out of a really rough situation here. We're going to go 2 into 2. He's going to let that go, of course. Now we have a Frankie we can keep recycling into life if we even need to. But let's see what happens here. Watch this. We're going to go 6 into 6. That's going to cost a counter from hand. Now we're going to push Rayleigh to life and go 8 into 6. There's no way he's getting out of that. It would cost both cards in hand. I guess there was a way he could have gotten out of it, but he didn't have it in. He did not have the option. Now my opponent's in top deck mode, and look at my hand. My hand is absolutely stacked. We have a Searcher. We have, what, 6 2K counters? We have 6 2K counters, 3 life. We're doing just fine right now, guys. We're doing just fine. We're going to swing for 6 and make him use that up. We're going to play out double chopper blockers, play out the Nami, and this is where things just get out of hand, guys. This is where things get out of hand for this deck. I have 2 6,000 power blockers, and I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12,000 counter in hand with 3 life, 2 blockers. We're doing all right. We're doing all right here. Okay, now they do play out a Cavendish, which is pretty good right here. They decide not to attack in, because what happens if you give me that Rayleigh, guys? If you give me that Rayleigh, you're in trouble. You give me that Rayleigh back and you're in trouble, right? That's the idea here, because Rayleigh, he does have a lot of value. And if you attack in, your character's sideways. Okay, so right here, we're going to play out the Sanji. I think we're going to use the Sanji immediately, taking our top life card, and we're going to play out the Rayleigh and get minus 3,000 to the Katakuri. He's a 5K now, minus 2 to the Cavendish. He's a 6K. Your turn. Your turn. And right here, our board is looking good. Very nice. They got a Nami here. They're going to get rid of that Sanji. That was very smart, because we were going to recycle that Rayleigh all day, every day. Did y'all see the little combo we had there? Pulse. Did you guys see the combo we just had set up right there? It was going to be every single turn, right? Every single turn, it was going to be attach a Dawn to Sabo, attach a Dawn to Rayleigh. We could swing for, well, okay, we could just swing 7, 8, or 6, 9, whatever you want to swing, and then life the Rayleigh, buffing one of our blockers up to 8,000 power as a blocker, putting the Rayleigh into life, and then then use the Sabo to take our top life card, which is the Rayleigh, replay the Rayleigh. It was just going to be never-ending value from that point onward. We had him in a little bit of a wombo combo there, and he was very, very wise to remove the Sanji. The Sanji was the problem, not the choppers or the Nami on the board, the other targets he had. Very, very smart of my opponent. He's on to us, guys. He was on to us there. Okay, so here we go. My opponent is in trouble now. We are down to our Luffy. We are going to cash in on some insane value. Watch this, guys. Swing for 7. Okay, they take it, attach a Dawn, push him back. We probably should have gave plus 2,000 to the Nami, guys. I'm not going to lie, because watch this. We're going to play out Luffy again. They said, okay, you got me, bro. You got me. Now, they did have a Rayleigh coming out, but we were going to be a 9 1,000 power leader this turn with 2 blockers, and they were going to be down to 0. What are they supposed to do? We still look at our counter power in hand, guys. It's just not even going to be close. But I think what we should have done there was given plus 2,000 to the Nami, because right here we would have been able to swing 10 with our leader, 9 with Rayleigh, and then the remaining with the Nami. That would have just been insane. I think it would have probably ended up being like probably 6 more or 7 more with the Nami. It'd have been like 7, 9, 10. And another 7, by the way, coming in from our Luffy, our bottom life's a Frankie. This is a disaster, guys. This is an absolute disaster for our opponent. But good game to them. That was a fun one. All right, we got 1 game left, guys. Man, it was nice playing Red Yellow Sabo again. And hey, with these new bans and restrictions, we'll have to see how things go. Because Blue Dofi was a pretty tough matchup for Red Yellow Sabo. And now that that's been... Blue Dofi's been nerfed a little bit. Rygo, Yellow was always kind of rough as well. We'll have to see what happens. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. So we're going to go second here against Purple Luffy. That's less than ideal. Purple Luffy wants to go first, and so do we. They end up going first, though. They take that from us. They ramp it on with the Mr. 2. And the nice thing about Sanji is he plays around Mr. 2 pretty nicely, because it's only a 6,000 power character on our turn. So that's still just going to be a 1,000 power Mr. 2 Bon Crate. They can only go to 3 this turn. Okay, so here we go. We're on our 4 Dawn turn. They're already on a 7 Dawn turn, guys. What are we supposed to do here? The answer is be real careful. They're going to go up to 8 Dawn while we're still on 4 Dawn. Seems good. Seems fair. Seems balanced. Very well played by my opponent there. They go and slam down the Onami, fixing their hand. Very, very nice. Very, very nice play by my opponent there. And their board is looking very ugly, like in a good way, very strong. So we're going to swing for 5. Let's see what happens here. They give me a 1K counter. We'll swing for 6. We need to start getting cards out of hand. If they want to attack into our board, they can. We're down to 2 life. We do pop the Mr. 2 Bon Crate there with a Fire Fist. And then we're going to go ahead and play out a 4-cost blocker. They're going to rest it down with an Usohachi. That was a pretty good usage of Usohachi there. We're going to let the Sanji go. We're going to draw a card from that. And now, what do they want to do? Do they want to start swinging into my board a little bit? The answer is hard to say, right? It's actually very hard to say what they want to do here. They're down to 2 life, so are we. They have 6 Dawn left, so maybe swing 7 here, and then probably play out a 4-cost character and sit on a Gum Gum Giant. Yeah, very, very safe play. Very well played by my opponent so far. Had some good players in today's game, these guys. I know I've had people complain that sometimes I don't have the best opponents, but the opponents I've had in today's games, they've all seemed pretty good. We're going to go -3 to the Standing Zoro, popping that with the Rayleigh, -2 to the other Zoro. We're going to go 4 into 4 here, and we went 5 into 4, 4 into 4. We're eating his hand up a little bit, but that was all we had. So this is our most vulnerable turn, and notice they don't really have a big board. They have a 4K, a 3K, and their 5K leader. Everything else is a 2K, and you know, that's it. They're going to attach a Dawn, swing for 5. We're going to 1K counter out. They're going to attach 2 Dawn, swing for 5 with the Usopp. Okay, and then they're going to swing for 6 in here. We get a Rad Beam from our life there. We take it. But we're okay right here. All things considered, we're doing just fine. The thing that makes Purple Luffy so scary is when they do the 7-cost Luffy Taro to cheat out another 5-cost or 4-cost body that's really strong here. So we're going to play out another Rayleigh. These Rayleighs are starting to really stack up here, guys. We play out another Rayleigh. We're going to go 5 into 4 here. We get rid of their Eustace Kid or whatever that was. We're going to go 3 into 3. Does he want to save this? We're fine if he wants to save this. Okay, he chooses to not save it. We're going to swing 8 into 5. Excuse me, he's going to use a Gum Gum Giant here. And he's going to go Dawn -2, but he's already got 10 Dawn, so he's going to get right back up to 10 Dawn on his turn. We're going to leave a blocker open here. We're a little bit scared. We're not super scared or anything, but we're in a tough situation. It's not in a bad situation, though. And we have 1 Dawn active. Let's see what they choose to do. Okay, maybe they had 9 Dawn. Because it looks like they only have... No, excuse me. They are going to go... They're going to draw a card for the turn, draw their Dawn, and here we go. They're going to swing 2 into 2. Wow. Very, very, very interesting to be that, you know, confident at swinging there. Maybe they're trying to go for lethal here, and they're trying to bait me. We're going to counter out of that. They're going to play out a Luffy Taro. I think they were trying to get me to tap down the chopper there or something. I'm not exactly sure. I needed to just be safe there. Better safe than sorry. I wasn't sure what they were trying to do. So right here, we're going to swing 6 into 4. That card's gone, unless he wants to, you know, be cheeky and block it with the Nico Robin or something. I don't think there's any point to block that. We're just going to keep going for their board, guys. We're going to say, no, I'm not going for lethal. I know what Purple Luffy can do. I respect what Purple Luffy can do. I'm going to swing for 9, swing for 10. He's going to give me a Gum Gum Giant here. He's going to cycle through some cards. Now I think he's going to be at 7 Dawn next turn. He'll only be able to go up to 9 unless he takes a life with his leader effect. Yep, okay, very nice. Because remember, he did Dawn -1 with the Luffy Taro, and then Dawn -2 with the Gum Gum Giant. Guys, that's the new strategy in the purple. You do not go tall against them. They're just going to get out of it. Just go wide and go play for the late game. That's your best chance. Okay, he's going to lock down my card here. I am going to block out of this for a Rad Beam. And if he wants to attach 4 more Dawn to his leader and swing 9 into it, I have a 2K in hand. 8 into 6, I'm going to let that card go, and I still have 2 life. Remember, guys, I do have 2 life. Now, right here, you have to really make a decision. Should I keep trying to go for the board? I think the answer is absolutely not. I don't think I should keep going for this board. I think now is my chance. We're going to swing for 5 and see what he does first. Swinging for 5 is very annoying. They have to give me a 2K counter, guys. Now we swing for 7. This might be a Gum Gum Giant if he even has another one. Okay, well, now it's going to be... so I'm still not all in yet, guys. I can still play out a blocker. I can gain life here if I need to. He's going to Gum Gum Giant, but now we're going to watch this, guys. Watch this. We're going to push a card back to our life, the Luffy, and we're swinging in for 13 into 5. He has 3 Dawn left. Good game to my opponent. Great game to my opponent. Look at this, guys. Frankie at the bottom of my life again. You love to see that. I was getting a lot of those in my my recent games. That's always nice. Sometimes it's better when they're in my hand, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I would much rather the card be in my hand so I can use a nice 2K counter. But other than that, it's still a good card. You know, it's still nice to have the Frankies in life where they're supposed to be at like the first or second life. Or bottom, bottom life. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Okay. Anyway, so here we go, guys. The Fire Fist still has a lot of potential here in the deck, but I will say this. Looking at this list right here, going straight into revisions, -2 Fire Fist right away, and I think what I'm going to add is only 2 Mole Guns to start. I might go up to 3 or 4. We'll see what happens, because remember, guys, I do still have some other very powerful top-end answers, but there's one other card I actually want to add to the list as well. I'm going to add it just for now, and it's this Newgate. I do want... let me move the leader out of the way just so it all fits on here. I would like to fit in 1 Newgate into the list, maybe 2. Maybe I drop one of these Silver's Rayleighs and go up a Newgate, so I have 3 Rayleigh, 4 Beckman, because he has a 1K counter, and then 2 Newgate. I think that'd be a nice 9-card ratio there for my top end. Ace is out of here. The 5 cost 6K Ace, that did not work out well for me. It was a great counter card, I'm not going to lie. Using it as a counter, that was solid. That was fine. But that's about all it was. I'm thinking about going down to 2 of these 2-cost Luffys, because it's not even necessarily a win more card in this list, guys. It actually just wins you the game sometimes on the spot, because being able to pull this card out of life and just swing in for full, very few decks are going to be able to survive that. And then just comboing it with this card at any point in the game, it puts your leader up to 7,000, and you're just off to the races in that way. So there is an idea here to keep this at 3. I think 3 is a nice number in case I accidentally search over 1 early in the game with a Nami. If I could just sit with 1 of these in my hand, I'll be happy with that, and I'll use it later in the game. I'll try to save it. And it's a 1K counter in hand. It's fine in that way. It's completely fine. It's never really quite dead because we can combo it with the 7 different Luffys we're running in here and all that good stuff. Now, speaking of that, I do think we can, if just trying to trim the list down and make it as refined and as good as possible, I do think we can go down to 2 of the 5-cost Rush Luffy. And maybe there's an argument after looking at the list we saw earlier on, guys. Remember, we were looking at a list earlier from the East, and they were running 4 of the 5-cost. Let me see something real quick, guys. I'm going to move back to where we were looking at here. Maybe there's an idea where we run 4 of this Portgoss the Ace in the list. Because look at this, guys. We are down to 4 spots left in the deck. Remember, I took the leader out, so we can't see... there's 51 spots altogether, including the leader. So we have 4 spots left in the deck to get to 40 cards. To get to 50 cards. And what we might want to consider running, it's a real option, it's an interesting idea, is running maybe 2, 3, even 4 of this Ace card. Because remember, it was already an Ace, right? It was already Ace, and we couldn't search it up to begin with. It was already a card. It doesn't really mess up our ratios, is what I'm trying to say. But at the same time, how do I say this? At the same time, I am not as big a fan of this card unless we're running the full Go support that we saw in the deck from the East. If we're running the full-on support from the East, I think we can run it. But otherwise, I don't know if we should or not, especially since we're already running the Luffy package in this Straw Hat version of the deck. I think this is probably fine as is. What else, guys? We do have 4 spots open in the deck. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say, so please, some constructive criticism in the comment section below would help. Should we go up some triggers, maybe? Notice we're not running the 5-cost Nami in here. Where is she at? There she is. So we're not running the 5-cost Nami in here because we can't search this up with Nami, right? They have the same name, so we can't search them up. The 1-cost searcher Nami. And we also don't have many triggers. Altogether, we only have 8 triggers so far, and if we add the Namis, we can go up to 12 triggers, right? I don't think we really need that. I don't think that's going to be necessary for what we're trying to do. And just the direction the list is going, it's a little more aggressive. I think we should probably, well, how do I say this? It's like aggressive into something more defensive at the same time. So I do think we can also go -1 of these Zoros, just go down to 2 or even 3 of these Zoros. And that clears up 5 spots in the deck that are kind of up to wherever you want to go with this list. Trying to think off the top of my head if there's anything that comes to mind. Maybe even running Marco. I think Marco might even be a better inclusion over the 3/5 cost aces that we were running, the 5 cost 6k ace, and we get to keep our 1k counter. So I am going to do that right away. So basically I went -3 of the 5 cost 6k aces we were running, and I've gone +3 Marco. So it's still the 5 cost 6k. It has a 1k counter. Neither were searchable. But this card has an on play that's actually very relevant in my opinion. I think it's actually a very, very relevant you know, on play effect. And then on KO, the more events we run, the more protection this card gets, which is kind of what we were running ace for anyway. So maybe that's just a nice 1-to-1 trade-off there, which also makes me want to go up more rad beams or maybe up more gum mole guns. Maybe we go up 1 of each. We'll have to see. Now for 2k counters, what I really want to fit in the deck is probably like -2 of this Sanji to go up +2 Otama. I do think, let me go to Otama real quick. I do think Otama is worth including. I'm going to put 2 in the list like right away. I think this is just a good card. Because think about it like this, guys. So what's the card we've all been talking about? Let me get rid of this and bring back the leader. So this is like the deck as is for now. One of the strongest cards we have to worry about in the entire game currently is probably going to be Eustace Kid. Now that the bans are in, Eustace Kid is a card that can just win your opponent the game on the spot. If you don't have an answer to that card, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, we do have answers in the form of Rayleigh, but with Beckman, if we can go on an 8 Dawn turn, which would be an 8 Dawn Rayleigh play anyway, we can go Otama -2,000 power to your Eustace Kid, play out the Beckman, and then 6,000 power or less, we can trash the card. So Rosinante won't save the card anymore. Rosinante can only save from KO effects, right, guys? Let me check real quick. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I haven't seen the card in a little bit. Yeah. If one of your other rested characters would be KO'd, well, then instead you may trash this character instead. So it only can prevent KO. Remember, guys, Beckman does not KO. Trashing a character and KOing a character are 2 different things. Those are very different things. So if we do -2,000 power to an 8,000 power Eustace Kid and then putting him at 6,000 power and trash him, they can't protect that with a Rosinante. Okay, at that point, the only thing they can protect him with is something like a Tashigi. Well, if they have Tashigi on the board, well, maybe we play out the Beckman and trash the Tashigi, still play out the Otama to drop their power down to 6,000 on their Eustace Kid and smash everything into it. You see what I'm saying? So that does end up being kind of an attractive idea there, something we might be able to try to pull off. And by the way, 6,000 power Marco, we can also cheat out with the Zoro potentially. There is some potential there. Seems good. You know, speaking of that, I'm thinking of this right now, guys. Here's another incredible option. Say they have a Rosinante on the board and they have the 8 cost Eustace Kid set up, and that's not the only thing we're teching for, but it is good to have these answers in the deck. Imagine on a 9 Dawn turn, we go, okay, Gum Mole Gun, -5,000 power to your Eustace Kid. He's now a 3K, and then I'll pop your Rosinante because he's going to be 2,000 power or less, right? Get rid of that card. And now I'll play out the Marco to follow up and just get rid of your Eustace Kid completely for the on-play effect because now he's down to 3,000 power. And I still have a Dawn left for the rest of my turn to use with Rad Beam. And I developed a 6,000 power body. And I got 2 bodies off their board. There's a lot of potential there, guys. I think it is something we need to keep a close eye on. I'm a big fan of the Rayleighs, but like I said, what I might do is I'm really considering dropping just one, -1 Rayleigh, and then going up +1 of this card right here, the, wait, let me get green out of the way, this Edward Newgate. I think there's a lot of potential here. Excuse me. I do think there's a lot of potential here. And let me say this right now, guys. I'm trying to look at all of the expensive cards in this list, or cards that might be a little too expensive for people. I think it's only the Rayleigh. Is Silver's Rayleigh the most expensive card in here? More than likely. And if that is the case, no problem. You can take all of them out if you can't afford them and go +1 Marco and +2 Newgate. I think Marco's also a little bit expensive right now. If that's the case, go up these Zoros. Just keep moving things around however you need to. But one thing I do want to include, I do want to go up +1 Rad Beam and probably +1 Gum Gum Mold Gun to get 6, maybe even get 7 events in the deck. So it has more synergy with our Marco, and they just have great utility. This Gum Gum Mold Gun is insane. It trigger activate main. Trigger activates main, guys. That's insane. It's so incredible. And then the Rad Beam is Rad Beam. Rad Beam will always be Rad Beam. And in this deck, guys, both of these are searchable. They're both Straw Hat Crew, so we can search them up with Nami. It just seems so good, guys. It just seems so really, really good. So we will probably try to fit in at least like 1 to 3 more events into the deck, basically going up the count of the Rad Beam and going up the count of the Gum Gum Mold Gun. Maybe we go -1 of these Luffys here because they're not necessary. They're just a really powerful play whenever we can get a hold of them. But remember, guys, this is not a searchable card. This is not a Straw Hat card. This is a Goa Kingdom version of Luffy back when he was a kid. So he's not Straw Hat Crew yet, so we can't search him with Nami. That really hurts what we're trying to do, but it's not the end of the world either. So maybe that is one thing we will do is go -1 of these Monkey D. Luffys here, and maybe we'll go up +1 Mole Gun. Let me add that for now. And then it would be nice if we could include just 1 more Rad Beam. That's where I'm really leaning with the list, is I'd like to go up maybe just +1 Rad Beam. Maybe we even go -1 Marco. But at the same time, what we want... So our 5 cost spot is pretty stacked right now. We have 9 insanely good cards. 4 of this Rush Luffy, 2 of this Rush Luffy, and 3 of this Marco. So we have some pretty good options there as is, but maybe we can go -1 more card. Maybe we even go -1 of these Sanjis, because when we went up to 2 Otamas here, now we have, let me see something, 2, 4, 6, 10, 14 2K counters, which I do like that. I'm not upset about that. But maybe we do go -1 of these Sanjis right here, just make it a 1 of, and go up 1 more Rad Beam. So we technically went down 1 2K, but went up 1 4K, and 1 2K if you have 3 or more life. So still very strong. All right, guys, this is kind of where I'm leaning with it. Maybe we do just have a few 1-0s in the list, like maybe just a 1 of Edward Newgate and just a 1 of Sanji, and then go +1, you know, we could go +1 Rayleigh. Let me do that real quick. We'll go +1 Rayleigh, and maybe we sit around this area, because just dropping a Newgate down on curve is a very strong play, guys. It's very strong, and if that thing survives, if you just think about it like this, 7 Dawn turn. Say we're going first and everything, it completes our 7 Dawn curve very nicely. So on a 7 Dawn curve, if we don't have the Ben Beckman, which can pop a 6K, Newgate can pop a 5K. So maybe we drop him down, we get to swing for 6 for the turn with our leader, and now if he survives, if Edward Newgate survives, an 8,000 power character, think about the insane things we'll be able to do next turn on a 5 Dawn, on a 9 Dawn play. On a 9 or 10 Dawn play, what we'll be able to do next turn with Gum Gum Mole Gun, it will be disgusting, right? It will be absolutely disgusting. So I would like to maybe go -1 Rayleigh and go the +1 Edward Newgate. So we have 2 and 3. Excuse me. And not that it should matter, but I understand how people think with a budget, you know, trying to build things in a budget. It would also make the list more affordable, completely dropping these Rayleighs, going +2 Newgate, and then going +1 one of these 2K counters, or another Zoro, or a Marco, or whatever, or up one of these events. So there's a lot of wiggle room in this list, guys. If you're trying to build closer, you know, more on a budget, you'll be able to get rid of all of these Rayleighs if you want to, and go +3 somewhere else. Maybe go +2 of the Newgate and go +1 Sanji, and same thing with these Marcos, because I do think Marco's a little bit pricey. I haven't checked the price in a while. We're going to do a market watch on the 1st of April. But if these 2 cards are too expensive, guys, you've got 6 extra spots in the deck. You could go +2 Newgate, +2 Luffy, and then +2 events. It's that simple. It's that easy to fix from this point on. All right, that's it, guys. That's where I'm going to leave it. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Actually, one more thing I will mention is I think Charlotte Linland could be another good inclusion into the deck. Manipulating Life has always been very good for Red Yellow Sabo. It's a 7 cost 8K body. This is a solid card as well. If you don't have the Rayleighs or the Newgates, maybe mess around with running 7 cost Linland. Even though this card's more expensive, I think, than Newgate is, it is an option if you have those laying around. And then one other really... Okay, it has to be said. The 8 cost section for red and yellow is cracked. It is completely cracked. There are 4 very, very good options in the 8 cost slot for red, yellow Sabo, and you can choose any of them because our 8-cost card is not searchable in this version of the list. So if you want to run Eustace Kids, go ahead. You want to run Katakuri. This card is also incredible. This deals with 8-cost Eustace Kid as well. So I will say this, if you cannot afford the Rayleighs and you're trying to keep this as competitive as possible, I would go +3 Katakuris. So -3 of these Rayleighs here, +3 of these Katakuris here. I would do that for sure. And then also, we already have 8-cost Rayleigh in here, of course, already. And then the Monkey D. Dragon is another just incredible 8-cost card. If you want to run that in your deck, I don't think you'll be that upset. I don't think you'll be very upset with running this card either. Maybe it's a 1 or a 2 of. Okay? All right, I'm done. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. It was nice playing Red Yellow Sabo again. It was a lot of fun playing Red Yellow Sabo again. And don't worry, we will be revisiting this leader again in the near future. We're not just totally done with any of these decks, guys. We always come back to them for the most part. There's a few leaders we might not ever come back to, right? There are a few, but Red Yellow Sabo, I don't plan on that being one of them anytime soon. Unless in the future some kind of block rotation moves them out. You never know. But until then, yeah, we will always be going back to Red Yellow Sabo. All right, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, guys. Whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG affiliate link, whether you're supporting me through Patreon, PayPal, donating, Playmat supporters, YouTube members, Discord community, whatever you're doing to help me out, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, peace.